Alrighty, so once again, I'm Carl, and if you guys want to introduce yourselves separately and then as the band, we can start this way.
My name is Andres Sarda.
Okay.
I play guitar with the band, the Peachtree Shakers, and yeah.
Steve Jack, I play acoustic guitar, electric guitar, and also the lead singer in the band.
The lead singer, very important.
Bob Bokikio, keyboard player, do background vocals.
Also important.
Ryan Mulligan, bass.
Bass.
Yes, sir.
Never enough bass, in my opinion.
My name is Jim.
Jim, what do you do, Jim?
I play the drums.
Very important. And the name of your band is?
Peachtree Shakers.
Peachtree Shakers. How'd you guys come up with the name?
I believe it was the Steve Miller song, right? Really love
That
your
happened?
peaches, want to shake your tree. Yeah,
That
I think that came on in a bar, and I looked at Jimmy. I was like,
So we have like
Go band.
if you guys don't mind if I interrupt. So we have kind of played in bands all together for the past years. Me, Jimmy, and Ryan.
Okay.
And we've kind of just like a lot of musicians, we kind of switch hats all the time. And
Morph.
If you realize, like, it's almost like your same group of friends in different entities and different bands over the years, when you're doing covers and all that stuff. But we had recently stopped playing a project together that we were doing for a while, and I got really in touch with some of like southern style playing, because I'm not from this country, and I'm always in the pursuit of what really comes from this country.
Okay.
When you see it from another country, a lot of foreigners, we have different ideas and of what it is here. And I just came back from Guatemala today. Went to visit my brother, and I had a lot of conversations with my friends there. And a lot of people think that America is like Miami, and it's more like metro and stuff. And one of the things that I always bring to them, and I was like, well, yeah, that's just like a 10%. But there's this like wonderful and I don't want to call it like the wonderful middle class and this wonderful music that comes from them, and it comes from this like big background of jazz and rock and country, because we're a big melting pot.
Yes.
I've always fallen in love with that, and
Yes.
I got really hooked up on with the Grateful Dead, and to me they were kind of who sparked all this marriage of music. And in my growth and in the time that we took a pause, I got a chance to kind of explore a little bit and travel a little bit, and I went down to Nashville, and it was because I was just really curious about like what was going on there, and we all pursue our instruments pretty intensely, and I kind of wanted to see what the whole fuzz was about, and I went in there and I just kind of fell in love with how organic and from the heart, yet tied up to jazz and kind of complicated music they were playing over there. And I came back really inspired, and I just talked to these guys. I just met Ryan because we were doing some Grateful Dead kind of music together, and I told him that and this was almost like coming out of the pandemic. So we kind of got together and we started jamming in our basement, and we were called the Pandemic Project. So that's kind of where the
Okay.
acronyms, the
Yes.
PPS started to come.
Yes.
And then we hit it off, and we kind of started talking a little bit about the influences, and Jimmy came up with a little bit of the play on the peaches because of the Allman Brothers. We have some like strange connections to that style of music, and
Yes.
then we kind of had a little bit of a hard time kicking the project off with some players, and then we got to meet Bob, and he brought a lot of things that none of us are really good at. A lot of us are, and I think that's what makes a well-rounded band. Bob is the more disciplined, grounding member here, and then Steve came along, and he's just kind of helping us with some of the other, because we like to go out and get loose, but sometimes we need to get back, and I think we finally found a situation where we're all like really balanced.
The grounding force, if you will.
Yeah.
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 Yes. I always tell them that they're the mature side, and then we are like
That's well.
the leash,
We'll say the playful side, not the
Yeah.
immature side. The playful side.
I like that playful.
In my world, that's kind of how we all came together. But I don't know if you
I don't know, it's still like herding cats.
Yeah, especially, that's my job, though. I'm the bass player. I'm supposed to be leading everything.
Well, how many projects do you guys have out? Is any yet? As far as like whole EPs and a whole LP?
Right now, just doing covers, so we haven't gotten to that. We're still trying to work on building our following and building our base, so, and you only do that by getting out and playing.
Are you guys all from Connecticut? He already kind of said that he was.
Yeah, I grew up in Stratford.
Everyone else?
Yeah,
Well, I grew up in West Virginia, actually.
See?
Yeah.
Hey, so you got to
North
ask.
Carolina for a long time, and now I'm here.
When did you come from Guatemala?
I came in 2002, and I lived. I actually lived in West Virginia, very close, which is
An hour
kind
from where I
of.
grew up.
Wow, no way.
Yeah,
Well, I know.
See?
He told me that. I couldn't-
See?
Yeah.
That's the universe for you, and that's why I ask simple things like, "Why did you come up with the name?" Because it might be one little thing, and you think it's one thing, and it's not. You know.
Yeah.
But the universe is funny like that. What's your guys' musical influences? We already know the Grateful Dead is very high up there.
Yeah, Grateful Dead, Allman Brothers. Stuff. We've been pulling in some different tunes too. Some
60s,
Steve
70s
Winwood,
era kind
and,
of stuff.
Little
Steve
Sugar
Winwood.
Loaf. You know?
I think the cool thing about this band is that we're all into different kinds of music, so we all bring like different
A melting
influences.
pot.
Exactly, and we're playing covers, but each of us is bringing something
Yeah.
different, right? So I like more kind of like the funk jam kind
Yep.
of stuff like that.
Yep.
So I think I bring a cool kind of almost funky aspect to some of these like blues songs that we're playing. It really picks it up, and Bob's a great organ player, so he brings a great cool feel to these songs, and everybody's got these influences.
Does Bob
different
like the
from
Doors?
everybody else, but then we all
What's
come
that?
together.
Does
and all-
Bob like the Doors?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Is that the only big band that uses an organ?
No, Doors, Allman Brothers, Deep Purple.
Deep Purple, yes.
Yeah. A lot of my influences come more from the jazz side too. Jazz and blues, like Jimmy Smith and
Jimmy.
Jimmy Smith, Ronnie Earl, Booker T.
How about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I come from, my roots are more of acoustic oriented.
So the country, like you said, acoustic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a CD back in '95, and I did one, I don't know, about 8 years ago, of original acoustic music, background, stuff like that. So, all those influences that I had too,
Yeah.
all these bands. So I play acoustic guitar in the band and electric guitar, and then we get that flavor.
And harmonica.
And harmonica, I play that a little bit too. So.
But the acoustic guitar is cool because if you could do it with the acoustic guitar, then you could do it with the 5,000 plugins with the
Right.
computer and
Yeah.
everything. But sometimes it's getting back to the basics. I was, again, for the third time, I'm telling the story tonight. I went to school for radio broadcasting, and how you actually clip tape back in the day was to actually clip the tape.
Jimmy knows all.
And you had to make sure it was a seamless, so you're there. And to erase it, you actually put it on a high-powered magnet. And if you're making a beat or something back in the day, you would actually have to pause, and you would have to do it dead and rewind and do it dead correct, or you would go over the first part. Now you could do like a 5-minute loop of something by copying and pasting.
Yeah.
But technology does help.
Jimmy's background is in studio recording
And engineering.
he
Awesome.
knows a lot about that.
Yeah.
So things have become a lot easier, right?
They have a long time. I started in the late 80s and when the digital transition was just taking place. So I, like yourself, started cutting tape when I was
2-inch
about
tapes
17 or 18 years old. I was very fortunate to work with a gentleman by the name of Billy Shaw. He ran a place called Sound Design Recording up in Vermont, and Billy hasn't done so well in the last number of years, but he's a wonderful human being, and for years and years he ran a great production company there. And worked extensively with some pretty big names in the business, and NRBQ was one of them, and so yeah, that's my background, and that's kind of what I bring to the table here is a lot of musicality and just being around the business and a great love of live music especially. I mean, that's what we do. We're a live band.
Yep.
We do take cover songs, traditional cover songs, but we kind of put our own unique
Flavor on it?
Our own personality. Like Ryan said, we all come from different backgrounds and different tastes, but I think originally we set our sights on a motif or a theme that sort of centered around the vein of music that came out of the Muscle Shoals recording area.
Yep.
And Aretha Franklin and Jimmy Smith and the Allman Brothers and all that kind of music is sort of where we're, Bob Seger, we're all kind of centered in that groove, and we may venture outside of that a little bit, and inside of that we're all bringing in our own unique character and our own personality, so.
Yeah, it's I always like to think of music as a quilt.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it looks kind of all different and all jagged and all over the place until you kind of step away from it. And it's, well, that's a beautiful quote, and it also keeps you warm.
I think one of the things that we kind of are really working with, or think, or especially me, I'm thinking, the life of a cover musician or a musician that doesn't hit it or doesn't take the risks. It's a long life and it's a tough life because you want to express yourself, and what ends up happening is like 20 years go by and sometimes you realize, man, I've been playing the same stuff in the same bars in the same situation. And one of the things that I like about these guys, and one of the things that we're trying to find out, is like each one of us, we're not musicians. We study music. We study the instrument, and when we all kind of hooked up together, I like to. It might not be what it is, but I like to see it as the faceless band, because if you catch a full night with us, you'll see that there's times where we just focus on Jimmy, and Jimmy just gets to play, and or Bob gets these chances to play, because what I want people to know is like, yeah, we played these covers, but there's endless hours where we stayed home and we listened to our heroes, and our big thing is like, how do we come out and make you feel comfortable that we're playing this music that you listen, but we want you to walk away and also see like, hey, you got to hear it through us. And that, for my own personal, my next part of my life as a musician is wanting to take that risk. And these guys have always been very understanding with some of the concepts of the band.
I heard you use the word craft before. That's very important, craftsmanship, and
yeah.
Well, more people should really take more pride in their craftsmanship, and
There's a lot of work, and there's a lot of you go out and you expose yourself, and you play the bad notes and you play the good notes.
Yes.
And not every night. I think of us playing live as like painting. The one thing that's beautiful is like the strokes disappear with us, so it's a little bit more forgiving. But it is a labor of love, and at some points you wanna be more present in how you express it. And these guys have a great opportunity, and we offer a great platform to do that.
Well, I think when you go see a live band, especially if it's one band at one place, you're not just getting that, and the band gets paid like $500 or something. You're getting more than that 2 set or 3 hours that you play. You've got the years of practice and hours of practice and a lot of dollars of expense and a lot of time driving, and you get there, 2 or 3 hours before everybody else. You set up all your stuff, and then you do the gig, and you're tired. And after that, you have to break it all down and go home, and either leave it in your car or bring it in if you don't have to stay. So there's a lot. You're paying for more than just just a couple of hours. It's like it does a lot of work and hours go in. I think people forget that a lot.
Yeah, you hear the polished song, and you don't hear all the parts that made it, or even the guy who's now polishing it and adding the compressors and the effects to make it sound good.
Or us playing the same 4 bars 15 times in a row and kicking.
Yes. Yes.
When you track a song 17 times, and it's laborious, and it's also heartbreaking, because each time you do it, that it's a failure, you feel like, well, it's not necessarily a failure, because you always learn something new every time. But I think that's the thing. It's like you work so hard at something, and to see it just not materialize instantaneously, especially in today's world where we have access to so much so fast, that we're spoiled by that. And you talk about craftsmanship. I think that's something that we do try to focus on. It's because it gives our lives meaning and purpose, and I think there's a higher philosophical reason. I don't want to get all heady about it, but that's the truth. It's like, for me anyways, I think that if I was just sitting on my couch every day playing a game, you know what I mean, it's not as fulfilling to me.
Yes.
That is very fulfilling to other people, and I come.
That's why I got rid of the video games, but I agree with you 100% on that.
One of the things that's special about this band is because we push each other. We don't settle for mediocrity. Right? We push each other to be better.
Steel sharpens steel.
And we pick songs and parts of songs that are more intricate, because we know it's going to challenge us. And we can't just go up there and schlock the night away, because it's not, because there's things that are just too intricate.
Yes.
That rely on us being in tune with each other and practicing those riffs over and over again to get them right.
Yep.
I think we get into these beautiful moments that can also be very self-indulgent when we have open communications with each other, you know, and that's to me it's what makes me feel present and alive on stage. But it's the balance of that, you know. And I've heard like a lot of improvisers say like you have to go out but not too far, and that's just kind of the pursuit of it, you know. But it feels great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any pre-show rituals to get you to go on stage? I asked that for the newer artist. It could be liquid courage, or it could be yoga.
I always got a beer on me.
Liquid courage. I heard today somebody say to a point, so that was good that specify that, because I didn't
Yeah.
go too much liquid. Somebody was yoga. Somebody was they take a shower before they go on stage.
Yeah. No, my thing is just to be prepared and know that I put in my time and.
But
you
he's
know,
talking about we all need to go. We are gathered here.
Yes, like a tea. Yes,
I think being present, you know, I think that
nerves aren't necessarily bad.
yeah.
I think we played so much that sometimes and that's kind of goes back to my point that we've all have a lot of years of experience, you know, so it just like everything, you get more comfortable with it. So I think that staying present is really important, because we have to listen to each other. And for me, I have to almost like be very calm and passive and not try to hit homers the first 30 minutes of a gig, and settle down and get some like little wins, like making sure we trade a lot of melodies, and I have to make sure that I'm synced in with Bob and I'm on time with him. And once I feel the comfort of my bandmates, then I'll find somewhere where I can just kind of start to kind of take an opportunity or see if there's something out there that's piquing my eye, and fall out a little bit. And that's where I started to kind of get in the zone, you know. But staying present with the guys, I think is worth more than, you know, 50 beers, you know, in my life.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Cool.
Where can we find all of your work? Are you guys on socials?
Facebook.
Yeah, we're on
Facebook
social,
is your
but-
main?
Yeah,
We're gonna think
we're
there's some
starting to
video.
build a little bit of like kind of a library of videos and stuff. We didn't.
Yeah,
you know,
we're working on a YouTube channel.
You should do it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're working on a web
just to get the
page.
name.
Yeah.
You guys gotta get out. Get
Yeah.
out, turn YouTube off, and go out and watch the real musicians out.
He's right though. He's 100%
I see a
right.
lot of people, so I get, you know, my circle, my friends, they know that music is our passion. I get a lot of people sending me clips from Instagram. I'm also hip for the musician that posts himself,
Yes.
works himself, and I appreciate that. But to me, the musician is the guy that can entertain someone for 3 hours. You know, that's my teacher. I went for music school too. You know, we were people that worked in the unions and stuff. You know,
Yep.
they played jazz. They moved around. So yeah,
Stage
put
performance.
the Instagram off and come and check out
Yeah.
what people are doing.
Well, you know, you can't get. We talked about. You can't. You know, you can't get that. There's an exchange that happens between the performer and the audience. The energy that gets exchanged,
right.
and you both feed off of that from each other. And you can't get that on you know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with YouTube or the radio or CD.
No.
But you just I think that's what people miss out on when they don't come out and see a live band.
Now listen, I'm into a lot of the newer, like I say newer stuff, I mean like more R&B, rapish type stuff. My favorite rock bands are Alice in Chains and Van Halen. But my favorite concert that I went to, and that's when I was working at the radio station, was actually James Taylor. And it had nothing to do with his songs. It had to do with the little things he would do in between the songs.
Yeah.
And, I'm getting old. I'm sorry I can't see the playlist down below.
Oh, he's very fun.
That really was connecting with the audience, was worth its weight in gold.
I
Yeah.
think that there's nothing like the relaxed musician on stage, you know, and I think that sometimes that's why you go and you really connect with them.
Yep.
Yeah, it's you know, he's standing in front of, you know, thousands of people, like he's got the privilege to.
Yep.
And he's just like a friend, you know. And,
Yes.
I heard I'm a big John Mayer fan, you know. Hey, whatever he plays, and he did a big tour on just being acoustic recently, and a lot of the reviews were that it just felt like that. It just felt like he was sitting
He's home with you.
with us, just
Yep.
playing. And I think that's the connection that we are all looking to make with people.
Yes. Yes.
People gotta come out.
They have to
gotta
come
feel
out.
The bass that I'm feeling in my feet. You know?
That is
Feel
a
it in the
thing.
heart,
Yeah.
you know?
See those little intricacies you cannot find on YouTube. You know,
right.
the bass or the interaction, but
Yeah. We gotta fall in love with the mistakes again. You know?
that's part of music. It is.
for the growl of a
It's
beast,
so the computers to me are too perfect,
Right.
and that's how we'll end it. And sometimes the human timing is what we're missing. I think actually.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a digital natural world. The sun does not rise and set at the same time every day.
Yes. You got-
It doesn't sound fabricated.
Yes.
Natural.
No,
Yes.
mechanized.
Yeah.
the Peachtree Shakers.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for
Yeah,
coming
see ya.
along.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Get out and support local music.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming along, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.